Hello, fellow translators. Today's video is actually not for you, fellow translators, but it's for people posting jobs. This is a message to everyone posting jobs on Proz.com specifically, since that's the main place people post jobs. But it could apply anywhere on Proz, on Translators Cafe, on Guru, on Freelancer, I guess, on all those. Just a couple of points. And I thought the easiest way will be to go through a couple of the jobs that are being posted. Anyway, I'll just start clicking and kind of go through the points that I want to address here. First of all, good. Everyone who quotes, I don't understand why people don't do this. You should always choose the submit quote button. Because some people, when they post a job, here, actually, I haven't gone through these yet. I probably should have done it ahead of time. But yeah, see, so this one is did not post the submit quote option. So actually, I'm not even eligible to see. I don't know why they send it to me if I'm not eligible. This one, the quoting expired, and so these are a couple of things. Okay, first of all, to Proz.com, if they're expired, you can stop showing them here. But anyway, fine. There we go. Finally, someone who didn't post a submit quote button and instead they have the show email address. This means I need to copy the email address and then I need to send an email from my email and all that. Now, this might seem quite easy, and if you don't have to worry about a lot of people sending you emails, you get plenty of people emailing you about it, then that could be fine. I don't know. I just find it easy, even when I'm sending out requests for people to, for my jobs that I need done on Proz.com. When I'm trying to find freelancers, when I'm trying to find translators, I find it a lot easier to use their website and go through their system rather than send out an email and have to wait for all the emails that are going to come even after the deadline. Because what happens here is when the deadline has passed, so where was the one with the deadline? I think it was this one. Here, I should be opening these in new tabs. Because at least here, I can't apply anymore, right? And so they do hide the email, but very, very often they include the email here in the text or something, and so you'll find people still applying, or they'll just have copied the email from before and it just takes them 2 days to apply. And that's just annoying. So I think everyone that posts a job should always use a submit quote button. I really don't see the advantage in not doing that unless it's some company issue, some company guidelines or something. But anyway, always use a submit quote button if you are posting a job on Proz.com. Next thing, you should, here, actually, some things you should always include. You should include the industry. So this is very good. They said potential tourism-related translation. Boom. So right away, I know that it is tourism-related. You should also have the length. Let's see if there's length. The Texas tourism, I didn't receive it by now. Very likely it's about a place in Campania, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, there is nothing about the length. She hasn't received it yet, so she's just giving the information she has. So that's fine. But if you can, you should always have here 23,000. Here, at least they included the amount and the length of it, about 23,000 words. And by the deadline, which brings me to the next issue, the deadline. Now, actually, Proz.com is pretty good about that because it always has, here it has at least a quoting deadline. It actually gives you the option for also the job deadline, which they should fill out. So this person should actually fill out quoting deadline, but also the job deadline. Maybe she doesn't know it yet, again, because she hasn't received it. But here there is, there we go, delivery deadline, there we go. So, so that should always be included as well. The next issue, and the next issue is issues about the document that should be included. So here they didn't say anything. They just said medical document. But if it's a scanned document, if it's handwritten, if it's something like that, then that should be included. Here, format. Here she includes what format it is probably, and that's very good as well. These are all things. Actually, these are written quite well, and so they aren't too much of a problem. Let's go back to that one that was, that other one we saw. Oh, this is just, they need someone in Rome. Oh, and by the way, this is another point you should do. If you need someone locally, yeah, this is on site. So this is for an in-house translator. I mean, I guess that can work out, but I feel like it's really limiting it. I guess you could check here, but there are other places that are probably better to check than on Proz.com, which is worldwide. But anyway, it's they yeah, they included, well, delivery deadline. I'm not sure why, if it's in-house, but when you have a job, you should include if it's handwritten, if if there's any issue like that. And another thing that I wanted to mention is you should make sure that the job has been spell checked. And here I want to show you why, because this is something that I also received recently, and I remember this one confused me. Here, native speakers with experience in legal translation are illegible for this task. Now, illegible means you cannot read it. So I was wondering, maybe by illegible, they meant ineligible, like so they cannot apply. But actually, they meant eligible, which means they can apply. And I think actually they meant that they need to be, like, it's obligatory, it's mandatory that they be native speakers with experience in native translation. So none of those words will work there, and they should have just said are required for this task. Anyway, so you might want to spell check. You might want to make sure that what you write is correct, because there are issues with that. I think I already mentioned once that someone said they needed a translation done by 12 a.m. and I got very suspicious, so I asked them what time is 12 a.m. and they're like 12 a.m. noon. And I'm like, okay, fine, because 12 a.m. is obviously not noon, it's midnight. 12 p.m. is noon, but fine. Anyway, those are the main points I kind of wanted to cover for people who are posting jobs on Proz.com, just to, first of all, the submit quote button. I think it's so much easier for everyone. I think they shouldn't even allow the other method, because it's easier for people applying as translators. It's easier for the person collecting all the quotes. Just choose a submit quote button and then include the industry, the length, any issues with the document. Oh, and if you can, include an excerpt of it. I don't think this person included any excerpt. You can take out any confidential information, but including an excerpt will always help. And so it gives people an idea. So here too, 90,000 words, and they didn't. Oh, they did actually. See here, an excerpt. So actually, yeah, this is good. They include an excerpt. You should always include that sample text if you can. And here, it's not required to translate it, but at least they include it so you can get an idea. By the way, as I mentioned in another video, if you are applying for jobs, when it says translating this text is not required, I think it really helps you if you actually do translate the text and send it to them anyway and say, oh, this is how I would translate the text, by the way, because it really helps them to see what type of translation they can expect from you. Or at least part of the text. Sometimes they include long text, so at least part of it to give them an idea. And yeah, and then obviously the delivery deadline I think is very important, and you should include that as well, so people can schedule, set up a schedule and organize themselves. So that's just something that had been bothering me for a while, so I wanted to mention it for anyone posting jobs on Proz.com to keep those things in mind. Maybe you can think of other ones that I'm missing, but those are the main ones I think that are quite important, and so I just wanted to bring them up and mention them right here. So yeah, hopefully you can find this useful, especially if you're thinking of posting jobs on Proz.com. Please keep those things in mind, and otherwise I will see you in the next video. Okay, thanks. Bye. Savedum.